Revealing how she got into the vault, Sinclair explains that at first, everything felt like a dream. After waking from a strange sleep, she found herself watching a surreal and terrifying fight. A strange monster with a pig's head fighting her friend, Vice President Dolores, who was wrapped in a bright light, and the mysterious night hound. From her hiding spot, she watched as the strange monster, who seemed tired after a powerful attack from the night hound, turned back into a human. Before she could understand what was happening, she saw the night hound's sword swing down without hesitation, cutting off the man's head in a brutal killing. The severed head, still dripping with blood, rolled across the ground and stopped right at her feet. In that horrifying moment, the truth hit her. What she was seeing was not a dream, but a cold, brutal reality. Dolores and Vikir look down into the crater at Sinclair, who stands frozen in shock. A panicked Dolores is the first to speak, turning to Vikir and asking in disbelief why Sinclair is there. She remembers her plan, how she had given Sinclair tea with a sleeping potion and confirmed she was asleep before sending her and Piggy back to the academy. Her being in the vault should have been impossible. Still trying to understand the horrific scene, Sinclair looks down at the severed head and quietly asks what is going on. She looks up at the figures on the edge of the crater, her mind full of confused questions. She wonders why the vice president is standing with the night hound. Clutching her head, she then asks why the night hound was with the head of the bourgeois family, her voice filled with panic. As she questions the scene, her eyes, looking through her fingers, glow with a strange and corrupt purple light. Seeing her friend about to break down, Dolores rushes down into the crater and grabs Sinclair by the shoulders. She pleads with Sinclair, telling her not to look down at the head and to look at her instead, promising to explain everything. She admits she doesn't know when Sinclair woke up or how much she saw, but her only concern is calming her terrified friend. Dolores' attempt to comfort her friend is met with a furious and unexpected rejection. Sinclair's eyes glow with a menacing purple light as her face twists in rage. She violently shoves Dolores' hands away, screaming at her not to get any closer. The sudden anger leaves Dolores completely startled and speechless. From the edge of the crater, Vikir, still in his night hound disguise, watches the tense scene. He quickly realizes that the situation has become very dangerous. He warns Dolores that the vault doors will be opening any moment and that she needs to leave immediately. Dolores turns back to her friend, her own concern stronger than the warning. She gently tries to reason with Sinclair, telling her that it's dangerous to stay and pleading for them to leave together. Sinclair, however, replies with a chilling accusation, questioning if they aren't the most dangerous people in the room. She suggests that if she were to stay and tell the world what she saw, they would have a reason to silence her. Seeing the situation getting worse, Vikir steps between the two, protecting Dolores. He takes full responsibility, creating a cover story on the spot. He declares that he was the one who killed the head of the bourgeois family, and that the Saintess, knowing nothing of his plan, was simply his hostage. This, he explains, is the official story they must tell. His words, however, fail to calm Sinclair. A bright turquoise magic circle begins to form in her hand as she prepares for a fight. With her eyes blazing with fury, she challenges him directly, asking if he plans to kill her now to keep her silent. As he faces this new, unexpected threat, Vikir's mind races, remembering everything he knows about her. From his memories before his regression, he knows the facts. Sinclair was a legendary figure, a genius and an elite student, who mysteriously disappeared after graduating, leaving no mark on history. But now, that cold information clashes with the personal memories he has of the Sinclair in this timeline. Her cheerful greetings, her easy friendship with Piggy, her unique smile, and the powerful memory of her tearfully calling him Hyung, overjoyed that he had returned safely. This internal conflict brings him to a dark and practical decision. He silently questions what he should do. Should he keep her alive? Or, if she has become a problem for his mission, should he eliminate her right here and now? The air grows heavy with his unspoken killing intent. Sensing this dangerous shift, Dolores clenches her fist, her face filled with alarm as she calls out his name, Night Hound. The tense standoff inside the crater is suddenly interrupted as the massive, heavy doors of the vault begin to creak open, flooding the dark chamber with bright light. Just as the doors swing wide, Sinclair, still hostile, has a turquoise magic shield pointed directly at the battered night hound. Silhouetted in the doorway are a group of guards and aides. One of them points in shock, shouting and identifying the infamous criminal, the night hound. Panicked, the guards wonder why the night hound is in the vault and immediately order everyone to make sure the patriarch is safe. Their frantic cries are cut short by a booming voice demanding to know what all the noise is about. The guards turn to see Damian de Bourgeois striding toward them, followed by his own men. The guards are stunned by his unexpected arrival, wondering how he could have possibly gotten there. Damian's own eyes widen in surprise as he takes in the scene, his gaze falling upon the grisly sight on the floor. He instantly recognizes the severed, bloodied head of his brother, Bartholomew. A silent, grim acknowledgement passes through him. The Night Hound has succeeded. Vikir remains completely silent, his expression unreadable behind his mask. Taking a deep breath to steady himself, Damian puts the final stage of their plan into motion. He points dramatically at the scene inside the vault and shouts that an assassination has taken place. He publicly declares the prearranged cover story. The Night Hound took the Saintess hostage and murdered the Patriarch. He then points directly at Vikir, ordering the troops to be gathered. He commands his men to save the Saintess and arrest the criminal at once. With the guards now focused on him, Vikir turns to make his escape. However, his path is blocked by Sinclair, who still has her magic shield raised. She shouts at him to stop, demanding to know where he thinks he is going. Vikir pauses and turns his head slightly, his red eye meeting her conflicted gaze. He offers her no answers. Instead, he leaves her with a final, cryptic piece of advice, telling her that it is up to her to decide what to see, what to hear, and what to believe. With no time to waste, Vikir draws his glowing red dagger and slams it into the ground. The impact creates a massive explosion of red energy, kicking up a thick smoke screen that engulfs the area, and provides the perfect cover for his escape. Amidst the chaos, the guards shout that he has disappeared and order a search of the entrance, determined not to lose him. As the smoke begins to clear, Sinclair is left standing alone in the devastated crater, her expression unreadable. She slowly clenches her fist, her thoughts a mystery. Damian de Bourgeois approaches her through the dust, his footsteps echoing. He asks if she is all right, mentioning that he heard from the head butler that the other student had already returned. He dismisses the fact that he wasn't told about their visit, saying it's not something he needs to get involved in. He then tells her that the area will be sealed off soon and instructs her to get directions from the guards and head back to the academy. Without a word, Sinclair turns and begins to walk away. As she passes him, Damian watches her go, wondering to himself if seeing the brutal assassination of the Patriarch was too much of a shock for the young student. Once she is gone, Damian turns his attention to the grim scene. He looks down at the lifeless body of his brother and quietly addresses him as Hyungnim, an honorific for an older brother. He reflects on the man's immense power, a person who had climbed to the very top of their family and the world, only to die in such a state. However, as he takes in the huge scale of the destruction around him, the massive crater, the shattered vault that was supposed to be indestructible, a new realization hits him. He questions if the scene before him could have been created by a battle between mere humans. The words of the Night Hound echo in his mind, confirming a truth he had struggled to accept. That's right, because he is a demon with absolute power. In that moment, Damian finally understands and accepts the terrifying reality that his brother truly had the power of a demon. As Damian stands amidst the ruins of the vault, his thoughts are interrupted by an unexpected voice. A single, sharp accusation cuts through the air. "It was you." Damian turns, his face a mask of pure shock. Standing before him is Sinclair, her expression cold and accusatory. She directly accuses him of being the mastermind, claiming that he was the one who lured both the Night Hound and the Saintess into the vault for the sole purpose of assassinating the Patriarch. Enraged by the accusation, Damian's shock turns to fury. He angrily questions what nonsense she is talking about as he draws his ornate sword and lunges forward to strike her down. However, he stops his attack just short of its mark, his sword pointed directly at her chest. A look of utter confusion and surprise crosses his face as he stammers, unable to finish his sentence. A flicker of recognition, a painful memory, causes him to mistake her for someone else. He quietly asks if she is his long-lost daughter, Juliet. After a moment of intense looking, a bead of sweat trickles down his face as he realizes his mistake. While there is a resemblance, he knows this girl is not his daughter. The truth is then revealed. The student known as Sinclair is, in fact, the only daughter of the man who was just killed, the Patriarch Bartholomew du Bourgeois. With her purple eyes glowing with a menacing light, her full, hidden identity is finally brought to light: Sinclair du Bourgeois. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.